Last week's elimination, Brett Miller probably had to use her a little bit more than he wanted, but she responded like a champion in the stretch. This week, she's drawn post 7, and we caught up with Brett earlier in the week, and he had something to say.
Pure Country is a great horse. She's definitely got a special place in my heart. I raced her a little harder than I wanted to last Saturday, but the champion that she is, she dug in the last eighth of a mile, won the race. I think she's got a real good shot to win the Lynch. Just like any horse race, you got to have a little horse racing luck on your side, but she's definitely going in the race very sharp. She gave me my first Breeders' Crown win. 3 years ago was the first time I ever drove in the Breeders' Crown, and she gave me my first Breeders' Crown win, so that was very special. She won the Fan Hanover a couple weeks ago at Mohawk, and her and I definitely have a bond together. She's a special, special filly.
Blue Moon Stride was the champion in New Jersey and looked pretty unbeatable when she was racing in New Jersey. Last week was the first time she had a chance to race mixed company and race the best in Pennsylvania. And she gave Pure Country all she could handle, coming up a little bit short in the photo. This week she's drawn post 8, and obviously Andrew McCarthy's going to have his work cut out. And we caught up with him earlier this week, and he had some interesting observations.
The 8-hole with Blue Moon Stride makes it a little bit trickier, but the way she raced the other night, we're going to have to try and get her in play a little bit, and she actually prefers to come off the pace, so I don't know. I'm just going to have to leave out of there a little bit and see what happens, I guess. I've been driving this filly since she was 2 and 3, so she swept the New Jersey size stakes over there pretty comfortably. She didn't really have to race a lot over there, but last week was the first time she had to meet the big girls, and I thought she proved herself pretty good.
The big race tonight, and probably in the last 40 years of my racing career, is the $500,000 Ben Franklin race, 11 on the program. Horse that didn't win last week, but has won earlier this year in 147, Malmara, showed an incredible amount of speed last week with Corey Callahan electing to park eventual winner Always Be Mickey, and then pretty much surviving to get into the final. Only the top 3 made the final off the 3 eliminations, and Mel Mara had to work pretty hard just to hold on to 3rd. Corey Callahan's lucky enough this week that he survived the elimination, and he benefits from the post position 1. They caught up with Corey earlier in the week, and he discussed his chances.
The way I would like to race the setup is not exactly what happened last week. With Always Be Mickey making those steps there at the turn, I took the option to leave him out, and with any other horse out there, it probably would have been the right move, but that horse is just unbelievable. So, I would like to just get away close. If I could get away in the 2, 3 hole, or even 4th and be second over, that would work out good for me. A recent acquisition for Bob Cooper and Jerry Silva with Dylan Davis as trainer, and they've done an excellent job with him. He's gone a couple big miles on the front, but personally, I've been telling them all along, I think his best game is, from off the pace. He's a sprinter. And last week with Mickey being at me the whole time, that's not really his game. He's better if he can get up there on a loose lead, and you're not going to get a loose lead in this kind of race. So, if we can trip out, I think we got a good chance. The race is going to be wild with the trailer. Mickey and Pete are going to have to find a way in it. I think Wiggle's going to get away in it pretty easy. But the other 2 are going to have to work a little bit. So, if they were out there, I'd be willing to drop one of them in and follow them. They're 2 of the best horses in the race. I'm so excited to be part of it. This is going to be absolutely unbelievable race. The way those horses raced the other night, I can see them, setting a new world record, and I really think they will.
One of the horses that could help them set a world record is certainly Wiggle It Jiggle It. Post 3 tonight, which puts him inside his main rivals. Wiggle It Jiggle It had to do what he had to do last week, but he did it very easily, and driver Montrell T looked very poised in the bike, scoring in one of the 3 eliminations. Wiggler Jiglet's come back as good this year as he was last year during his Horse of the Year campaign. Actually, over the last month or so, he's looked even better than he did in his early start. So Montreal Teague has post 3, and we caught up with him early in the week, and he had some interesting ideas.
Had a good outcome for the elimination. We got a relatively kind of an easy race. I got back to the front without being scorched too far to the half. So that worked out good, and then the post position worked out good as you can hope for. I mean, well, at least we're not on an 8-hole or trailing, so 3-hole we'll definitely take that. With this group of talented horses, it's definitely going down as one of the best, if not the best race. And with the talent in there with Mel Mara, my horse, Freaky Feet Pete, Shambhala, Always Be Mickey, and all the rest of them. It could be anybody's game, but I hope it's ours. With his fans and Always Be Mickey's and Mel Mara's, I think it's going to be a good crowd. It should be.
Last year, Wiggle Jiglet got to face Freaky Fit Pete, and by the end of the year, Freaky Feet Pete was probably the better of the two. He won the Breeders' Crown, and he gave Wiggle Jiggle all he could handle. Freaky Feet Pete really has stayed away from the age invitational ranks until last week when he debuted here in the Franklin elimination. And 147 and 1 mile was unbelievable. There was no horse that can come near him, but there was no horse with the speed that could get near him. So Freaky Feet Pete enters tonight's contest as good as a horse could be. Again, here's a horse with 29 wins in 33 career starts, and I think there's a question of testing for toughness, but Freaky Feet Pete has come in and he's done what he's had to do every time he's been on the racetrack, and his owners had something to say early in the week about their feelings about being in this race.
Oh, it's been a dream come true. He's just given us a ride of a lifetime. We never expected anything like this from him. He's our baby. He's just one of the family now, so we sort of treat him that way.
He looked like he was relaxed and he was on his own out there. Trace was just riding along as a passenger. So I was real happy with the way, and a little bit surprised that he was that handy at it. I've never thought I'd have anything like this in my life. It's a one-in-a-lifetime chance. I've always been told by a couple guys, one day you'll get that good horse. And when you do, ride it.
We had never been here before, so it was a challenge the first time, but we feel a little more comfortable now that he got around the curves and handled it well, very well. People have been so nice to us, and the country's beautiful, and I think Pete even likes it. He's just been settled in very well here, and we've enjoyed our stay.
Last on the outside, but certainly not least in the group of horses in the Ben Franklin with contention is Always Be Mickey. Always Be Mickey has been hailed since Jimmy Takter took over the training. He's just loved this horse, thought this is the best horse he's ever trained, and it wasn't until probably the last 2 weeks that everybody else got to see what Jimmy's been talking about. Always Be Mickey went up to Mohawk and captured the Mohawk Gold Cup in 147 and a fifth coming from well back. Looked like he was in an impossible spot on the final turn, and then just, found another gear. And last week, as Corey Callahan said, he had to park him, and Dave Miller decided, okay, you're going to park me, but I'm driving Always Be Mickey, and Always Be Mickey is just going to keep coming. And he did, to the tune of 147 world record equaling mile. And I'm sure Dave Miller has a lot of nice things to say about him, and we caught up with him earlier this week.
I think there'll be a lot of speed, a hot pace. I just want to be somewhere close around the last turn. If I can be just somewhere close to him, no matter how it works out, hoping he can get it done from there. There's nothing I can do about the draw. I know he's got the 2 horses I got to beat are inside of him. State Treasure, very good horse. Shambhala, very good horse. You can't leave out All Bets Off. I knew he'd do the 8 or 9. I mean, there's a lot of good horses in there. I mean, Malmara from the rail. I mean, it's a stacked field, that's for sure. But I still feel pretty good about it.
Well, Dave Miller has a right to feel pretty good about it. He's got a world-class horse, and as you can see, a lot of the connections of the Franklin horses have a good feeling about what they're sitting behind tonight. In the $500,000 Earl Beal, We have an interesting collection of 3-year-olds probably making their first big start of the year, 500,000 on the line in the Orville Junior. And we have a horse with just 4 lifetime starts. Trolley, a son of Donato Hanover, obviously a Pennsylvania bred, won his first 2 starts, and now last week got tested a little bit for class and finished a solid 3rd behind Bar Hopping and Southwind Frank. And Bar Hopping and Southwind Frank are likely to be the 2 choices, but Trolley drew the 5 and Southwind Frank 7, Bar Hopping 9. And we caught up with Marcus Miller early in the week, and he let us know what he thinks about Trolley.
Trolley did draw good. I mean, best case scenario is he wins, but I don't know. There's a lot of speed horses in there. He's pretty handy, so I like our spot. If they're going too fast, he can settle in and try to catch a cover trip, or he can leave a little too. So it might be a slight disadvantage, you know, some of the horses that got a race last year, but he's fresh too, you know, and he's been some big miles already, so he's ready to go, you know, he's ready to go fast. The track, he had a little foot trouble before, and the track is soft here, so I think that helps him a lot. We'll just have to see. I mean, if he's good enough to be in the Hambo, then there's a lot more races that go for a lot more money that hopefully he'll be in those as well.
But in order to get to the Hambo, in order to probably get to the winner's circle in the Hambo, you're probably going to have to beat Southwind Frank. Last week, he surprised a few people by actually getting beat. Southwind Frank now 13 of 15 lifetime, and last week, despite having the 8-hole, driver Yannick Ingris was able to get him to the front end, and he looked like he was pretty much in control of things, ready to pace kindly, and at least according to Yannick on the final turn, he thought he was in good shape. But Bar Hopping and Tim Tetrick and from trainer Jimmy Tactor wore him down in the deep stretch, and this week 2 drew outside, but Southwind Frank 7, Bar Hopping 9, and Yannick talked to us early in the week about Southwind Frank.
Oh, I think he'll be just fine. He definitely was not good in the elimination. A few things went wrong. You know, nothing that can't be fixed, but he's definitely not the horse that I know, and I'm sure he'll be 100% in the final. If there's not much early trot in the race, I'll be on the front. If they mix it up, he can race from behind, so it doesn't really matter. We'll play as it goes. It's a step to August 6th. You know, I mean, the main goal is still Hamiltonian, so this is just a race on the way there. I mean, it's $500,000. There's no doubt. You know, we want to win them all, but our goals is still August 6th.
Well, Yannick's obviously looking at the big picture, and the big picture starts here tonight and goes forward through to the Hamiltonian in August. We've got about 3 minutes to post, and looking forward to a great card. The weather's fine, the wind has calmed down, and looks like we're going to have a big night.